Now, this may surprise a lot of y'all who've watched my content for a while now, but I actually used to be a fan of the good Dr. Umar Johnson, right? The man of triple repetitions. I don't know what it is with that brother, but everything has to be said 3 times. Everything must be said 3 times. Everything must be said 3 times. Dr. Umar Johnson is a man who I used to follow. I used to believe in most of his rhetoric because I was looking for a sense of belonging, a sense of identity, acceptance. There was a time when I was transitioning out the streets and I was looking for something to attach myself to. And so I found myself becoming basically a Hotep ashwagandha sort of brother. And that led me down this rabbit hole where I found Umar Johnson, who was so compelling in his speech. Like, that's one thing I always give him. The man knows how to communicate. The man knows how to get a message across. But the message he is getting across, I believe, is not only dangerous, but it is also a grift. I believe the dude is finessing. God honest truth, right? Let's get just straight to it. I believe Dr. Umar Johnson does not actually believe everything he is saying. Now, do I believe that the man is not some sort of Pan-Africanist, pro-blackity black individual? No, I believe you can have that exist at the same time as he is using that as a means to profit. And again, for me, I understand how some people could believe that what I do is a grift, right? How can a black man be saying these sorts of things? How can you be off the Democratic plantation? Well, that's free thinking. And some people say that, well, you're making so much more money being on that side of the conversation. I promise y'all, if I pandered all day long to black folk, right? Having this armor on right here, if I did nothing else but pander to a black audience, right? In the same way these quote unquote relationship dating coaches pander to women, right? You did nothing wrong. You are perfect. You need to do nothing to change. And everybody else is the problem. You don't need to look within yourself. He's the problem. He's the problem. All of them are the problem. You do whatever you want, queen. You are the table. You are the kitchen cabinet. You are the lamps behind me. You are the books. You are the drapery. You are the ceiling fan. Them type of individuals right there. If I did that all day long, which is the equivalent of what Umar Johnson does to, a pro-black audience, I wouldn't be able to stop the influx and flow of money that is coming my way. It is an extremely profitable space. Selling racism, the race grievance industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And unfortunately, it has exploded within the last decade or two, right? After the so-called summer of love, my God. You didn't have enough offering baskets to collect the donations, the tithes that were being given over to the religion of wokeness. There was more money than they knew what to do with. BLM got so much money that they were forced to buy mansions. They were forced to give vacations, right? They were forced to take these hundreds of millions of dollars and pour them into personal luxuries. There was just so much money. They couldn't pour this money into the community that they purported to be helping, like an Umar Johnson, who has been raising money for a school since the early 60s. Well, that's an exaggeration, but might as well be, right? The man has been raising money for damn near 20 years for this Marcus Garvey institution for boys, and they barely got a damn light fixture up in that space. There have been people who have built 10, 15, 20 schools in that time, but yet he uses the message of because it is for the empowerment of black people, of black people, of black people, that it is being jammed up, it is being stopped. The powers that be are stopping the school from being created. No, this ain't no grift. No. Forget your common sense. Leave that discernment at the door, my brothers and sisters. Leave the discernment at the door. I'm really channeling the brother right now. Leave your discernment at the door, my brothers and sisters. The reason why the institution has not yet been institutionalized is because it has not been televised. I can't believe I used to listen to this Negro in real time. I genuinely cannot believe that I used to tune into that message and think to myself, this brother is cooking right here. This man is empowering me. The same man who's telling me that as a black man, the white man is over my head and is in control of my life. I have no personal agency, is the very same man that I purported to be empowering. A man whose entire foundation is rooted in racism. Yeah, I said it. Racism. If there was a white man who was espousing the very same things, my God. If there was a white man who was becoming famous on social media in this modern day and age for saying we need racial segregation, right? The races must not intermingle. You are seen as a radical far-right extremist. You are the K, and the other K. But yet the Nation of Islam, and I know Brother Umar Johnson is not a part of the Nation of Islam, but he does carry some of the same sentiments as the Nation of Islam. Mind y'all, that's not AI right there. I actually used to do voice acting and acting and things of that nature. So don't worry. That's real time Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson. Still carrying his slave name, by the way, but, I guess we just overlooked that part. Yeah, Brother Umar holds a lot of the same sentiments as the Nation of Islam, who was allowed to get away with some of the most racist things I've ever heard. My God. I mean, white people were made by Yaqub, who was an evil scientist, an evil doctor who tried to create an evil version. Wait a minute, Cat Williams voice. What? How is that not? That's got to be racist. Like, I don't understand how that's just allowed to float about freely, right? We need to separate the races. Black men, if a white woman is interested in you, a woman who is not of your own ethnicity, of your own race, even though we're all the human race, but anyway, if they are a different complexion from you, if they are, not of your own melanin content, then essentially they're just using you, right? God forbid that this person actually loves you for who you are and you don't look like them. God forbid that be the truth. You've been rejected by people who look like you your whole life, and then you've been accepted by those who didn't. And now you're supposed to give your racial allegiance to those who rejected you. How does that make sense? To hell, even if you weren't rejected, you just happened to align with somebody who does not look like you. And that's problematic. These are the beliefs of a Dr. Umar Johnson. These are the things that he espouses. And I believe these thoughts are regressive. They're dangerous. They take us backwards. They're pulling us away from all the progress that we have made as a people, to be judged not on, but instead, the content of who I am. I want to be judged on whether or not I'm a man of integrity. Not if I'm a black man or black enough or whatever it may be. I don't want to be judged on those. I really don't. I don't want the job because I'm black. I don't want the relationship because I'm black. I don't want the education because I'm black. I don't want anything because I'm black. I want it on the basis of who I am and how I project myself into the world. The sort of value that I'm able to create within the world. I would rather have that going on than somebody give me a handout because they feel bad because, well, you must be marginalized. You're black. Oh, surely that. And I know there's folks fighting for reparations this day. I'm sure that Umar might be one. I don't know that exact. I think that's been a fluctuation. But, a lot of the pro-blackity black crowd will say, well, you know what? We just got to strip ourselves away from the white man. And I believe that part actually is good. Stop depending on any man. If you are a man and you are depending on another man to take care of you, and you're begging and pleading and fighting and crying, you are the Al Sharpton standing outside of another man's building, pleading for them to give into your demands, you're the problem. That's weakness. That right there I can't respect it. I cannot respect it. That's why the whole activist thing has never really been attractive to me. I get college-aged girls or something like that. But as a man, you're out there go do something. Create something. Build something. If you want something, go and get it. If you want something, go and get it. Stop trying to destroy somebody else's or going outside and complaining about somebody else's. I remember when I first came to the States, this 1% protesting that was going on. The 1%, the 1%, the 1%. First of all, y'all on these multi-billion-dollar campuses protesting against the wealthy 1%. Your mom, your dad is the 1% you're talking about. People making, I believe, above $500,000 plus. Likelihood that you are part of that 1%. You're at least a part of the 1% in the entire globe. If you're living in America, you're at least a part of the 1% globally. So what are we crying about? Oh, you want what that person has, got you. Then work for it. Then learn towards it. Educate yourself. Develop the skills necessary. Take control of those habits, those nasty habits that you're allowing to destroy your life. If you do that, you will get your life back. That's the message that I stand behind. Not the white man did this, the white man did that. I don't put anything on any other man but me. Not my daddy, not my granddaddy, nobody. And I'm not waiting for somebody to give me something. Brother Dr. Umar, I understand that you may have a vision for the school for 20 years. That's supposedly not a finesse. At this point, anybody else who cared so much about this institution for black boys, this segregationist sort of institution, any other person would have collected the monies from somewheres, would have gone out there and gone and really got it, right? There is plenty of funding that is going around. Some of it just happens to be from the white man. So if you really cared to build that school, you would have. But my guess is it's been a very profitable venture to continue to beg your patrons, beg your everyday people, your fan base for money. That's one thing I made sure to never get into. If there is value delivered, then you're going to trade that value for value, right? People give me donations all the time. I maybe ask for one video or two videos out of more than 600-700 at this point. I'm not going to ask you for something if you don't believe that there was value. If you believe there's value, then you're going to want to give. You're already giving your attention and your time, which is your most valuable resource in essence, is that attention, that energy that you're giving to something, that you're giving your mind over to. So I appreciate and I value that. And I also know my own value, right? I'm not going to beg for crumbs. I know my value is exponential. That's why I continue to contribute towards my value. I give myself to my gifting because I know it will make room for me. Simple as that. Brother Umar could be going out there and educating already. He could have started creating courses and this, that, and the third. If he really cared so much, he could have done a digital version, and then it's making so much money that he can then pour that into the actual school, if that's what he was about. But again, I've kind of caught on to a lot of these grifts where it's the race baiting. It's to get you in your feelings about this thing that has been used for, millennia at this point, right? The race hustle is as old as time, or at least as old as our time. People using the foundation of systemic racism and injustice, etc., in order to get to the dollar bill has been going on. And so we have to call these people out. Everybody's at the witness stand now. I'm in that era now. I'm at the witness stand every single day in my own life. I have to check myself every single day. And so I check these individuals because, again, there are ideologies that they push that are genuinely bringing us back. They are regressing us as opposed to progressing us. And I am for the progression. I'm an actual progressive. Not in this degenerate sort of way, right? A boy's a girl, girl's a boy. No. That's not progressive. That's mentally unstable, mentally unregulated. That's mental illness. I'm about let's push us forward. How do we do that? By accepting that we are not just this skin color, we're not just this gender, we're not just this ethno whatever. We are more than that. We are human. What does it mean to be human? Glad you asked. It is to be created by the Creator. What does that mean? It is to have purpose, to be created with and for a purpose, and to find that purpose and to hone, to give yourself over to that purpose completely. That is empowerment, to take your life into your own hands. Be in control of your own destiny. That is the purpose of this life. Not to complain about the white man, not to complain about the patriarchy, the matriarch. It's not to complain, point blame, find anything besides self to hold account. We have to get to a place where we come back to ourselves and say, what am I doing in order to take away or to add to? If I'm not in the place that I want to be, I had to tell myself that. If I'm not in the place that I want to be, or I was not in the place I wanted to be, why? What did I do or what did I not do to get me where I am right now? Once I was honest about that, everything changed.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising. They see your light shine, that's why they so frustrated. Even the sofa in Nova Scotia will win the bagels. I couldn't get them ease on the grease, why they burning up. Money growing trees,